In the previous class, we have studied about Vogel's approximation method. Now we will see stepping stone method. The stepping stone method is used to determine the optimality of an initial basic feasible solution. We know that we used to obtain initial basic feasible solution by using three approaches, that is northwest corner rule, least cost rule, and Vogel's approximation rule. So we don't know whether the initial basic feasible solution that is obtained by using these three approaches is optimal or not. So to check for that optimality, we have a stepping stone method. So this stepping stone method can be compared with crossing a pond using stepping stones. This means that the entire transportation table can be assumed to be a pond, and occupied cells or stones needed to make certain movements within the pond. Means here we can assume that the entire transportation table can be assumed as a pond, and the occupied cells or the allocated cells can be assumed as a stones, where stones are required to make certain movements within the pond. So there are various steps involved in this stepping stone approach. Here the first step is the initial basic feasible solution, which is the starting solution to this approach. And the next step is the degeneracy problem. So in this starting solution, we have to check that whether that solution is degenerate or not. If there is a degeneracy, then we have to resolve the degeneracy before proceeding further. Okay, we will study about this degeneracy in the later sessions. Now just remember, degeneracy is just a condition where we will check, check for the degeneracy in the initial solution that is obtained by using the three approaches. And the last approach and the last step is to compute the improvement index values. So how do we check for this degeneracy? As I told, degeneracy is a condition where the number of allocated cells is less than the sum of the number of rows and number of columns minus 1. So whenever this condition is satisfied, that is the number of allocated cells less than number of rows and number of columns minus 1, then we say that the solution is degenerate. So if suppose, when do we say that there is no degeneracy in the transportation problem? When do we say? Means if the number of allocated cells is greater than or equal to number of rows plus number of columns minus 1, then we say that the initial feasible solution which is obtained by using any of the three approaches doesn't have a degeneracy. The next step is to calculate the improved index values. So the next step is to calculate the improved index values. Here, whatever the solution that is obtained by using those three approaches, we don't know whether it is optimal or not, right? So here, can I improve that particular solution? Can I improve that particular solution, or can I reduce the cost? Can I reduce the transportation cost by adding a unit cost value in an unallocated cell? So there are various steps for that. So what is the first step? We have to first select an empty cell or an unallocated cell for evaluating the improved cost. So starting with an empty cell, we have to form a closed path or closed loop by moving towards allocated cells, either vertically or horizontally. And again, we have to traverse back to the same original empty cell or unallocated cell. So here, what is a closed path? Okay, closed path or a closed loop is a sequence of cells in the transportation table such that the first cell is always an unallocated cell and all other cells is a allocated cell. Now we have to assign a positive sign in the original unallocated cell and place an alternate minus and plus sign in the allocated cells of the loop. Okay, don't worry about all these rules. Okay, all these will be clear when you actually solve the problem. Now just remember these steps. So, and the fifth step is to calculate the net cost in the closed loop. And the last one is to repeat the above steps for all unallocated cells. Now we have found the various improvement index values for all the unoccupied cells. Now we have to check whether that improvement index values, whatever we have found, has a negative values. If there is a negative values, then we have to revise the solution, which means we have to compute the improvement index values again until the values, all the values becomes positive. So this is a iterative approach. As long as the condition is true, we go back and compute all the solution. So once the condition becomes false, we come out of the loop and an optimal solution will be obtained. So when do we come out of this particular loop? Means when the improvement index value become positive. Okay, that is what here it is written. If the value of an improvement index for all unoccupied cell is positive or zero, then an optimal solution has been reached. So if an improvement index is equal to zero for any unallocated cell, which indicates that there can be an alternate optimal solution, or there is an alternate optimal solution.